Homo sapiens and Marbites, it's me, Rogue Marby Scott. Welcome back to the channel, and obviously I'm speaking a little bit weirdly because I have teeth in my mouth. But if you don't know what this look is, this is another Christmas look for my, well, here, I'll just take this out. That's so much better. If you don't know why I've got this spider influenced makeup look, then you do not know much about Christmas now, do you? So this is inspired by the story the Christmas spider, or the spider of Christmas. And I decided to do this because not a lot of people know about this story, and I celebrate Yuletide and whatever. But the story goes that, you know, there was a poor family and the mother really couldn't afford to buy her children any presents, and she felt really bad, and the spiders in her land, in her world, in her house, let's just do something nice for them. So the spiders created webs all over their Christmas tree, and then St. Nicholas or Father Christmas or Santa Claus or whatever you want to call him turned those webs into threads of silver or gold, depending on what story you're reading, and the mother was able to use those threads as money and provide for her family. So I decided to do this look just because, well, it's not the traditional Christmas look, is it? And I'm not very traditional when it comes to Christmas. I'm traditional when it comes to Yuletide, because I celebrate Yuletide, which is on the 21st of December, if you didn't know, which is also the same time this year, or I think it might be the same time every year, as Hanukkah. So happy Hanukkah to everybody that's watching who is from the Jewish community. So let's go into the tutorial. So guys, it's priming time. So I am using the Vivacious Pro Pore Primer, and I'm just going to smooth that all over my face before we move on to using the MUA Pro Base Primer with gold flakes. And this is very slick, but it does go into your skin very nicely. So I'm just going to let that sink into my skin before we prime our eyes with a nice concealer. The concealer that I'm using today is My Perfect Color Liquid Concealer, medium coverage, in the shade Toffee from Primark. Now this doesn't really show up toffee-ish, but whatever. And as you can see, I'm putting 2 layers of that concealer on just to make sure that the opacity is nice, so that the shades that I'm going to place onto my lids show up nicely. The primer is like so smooth on my face right now, and I've just you know, done my eyelids, primed them for the eyeshadow. And the palette that we're going to be using today is the palette from Jolie Beauty. We're going to use the shade Zesty as our main shade. So going in with that, lightly packing. Shades are bloody amazing. You can already see that you can build this up to a real good shade. Now as you can see, I'm just concentrating on my lid first before I go up a little bit more. So I'm going to go on to do the next eye, because I like to make sure that the shape is exactly the same how I want it on the other eye, so we'll be back. So happy with that, I'm going to now just blur out those edges a little bit, and then we're going to go in with our next shade. Happy with what I've got, I'm going to go in with the shade Player, and we're just going to create a nice blend over. Now I'm just deepening that colour Player on my outer corners, just tapping. then we're going to blend the rest of that into the look. And using a clean fluffy brush, I'm going back in with that shade Zesty just to brighten it a bit more. Going in with the shade Orb here. Just lightly tap that brush in. And I'm going to test that on my hand. Okay, so that is really blendable. So we're just going to put that there underneath our eyebrow. So just using what I've got on my brush, I'm just going to blend that carefully right underneath my eyebrow and blend it a little bit into that orange. Moving on to foundation, I am using the Primark Beauty My Perfect Color in the shades Cool Espresso and Hazelnut, which I have blended together. And I just want to point out to you guys that I have changed stuff in my room, so I'm a little bit off camera, and later on in the video you're gonna see that I'm way off camera when I'm doing some detailing and stuff, but I will try my best to explain exactly what I'm doing. Anyway, moving on to concealer, I'm just going to place that all over my face, and then I'm going to concentrate blending out the edges first before I go on to blending in the middle of that concealer. I find this works best when you want an even brighter coverage underneath your eyes. Right, time to set our under eyes section with some translucent powder, and today I'm going in really heavily with that translucent powder just because I want there to be a white cast. Now I don't typically have translucent powder that is white or white powder, so I'm using translucent powder. Anyway, going in with the shade Galactic from the Vivacious palette from Jolie Beauty, I am just going to go underneath my waterline and create a nice dark black blend. Now I'm going to dust off all of that jazz on my face. I didn't say jizz, I said jazz. And yeah, I'm just going to perfect that look after and spray using the Flawless Mist and Fixing Spray by Barry M. So now going on to detailing, I'm just going to sketch out my eyes all over my face, and I'm obviously sketching out only I think 6 eyes because I'm using my eyes as the other 2 in the inclusion of there being 8 eyes on a spider. Anyway, we're just going to be using, well, I am using a black eyeliner pencil, and then I'm just going to create grooves onto my head. And yes, we're going to move on very swiftly before we do some shading afterwards, but first we need to do our fangs or teeth. Teeth, I like to say teeth, like fangs makes things seem more scary. I don't know, it's Christmas, so teeth, we're doing our spider teeth. Okay, so we're going to stun and heat it up, and those are the 2 shades that I am actually using to create a nice reddish blend on these grooves that I've created on my face. And I decided to use red because obviously red is a color for Christmas, and also the oranges and yellows are kind of colors that you would have for Christmas or yellow anyway. But yeah, so I'm trying to create a Christmas look, but an evil, demented Christmas look, although the spider in the story isn't evil, is it? Anyway, just going to keep blending onto those black lines, making sure that I don't blend out those black lines too much, and then we're going to move on. Going in with the shade Heat It Up, I'm just going to create some light grooves on my forehead, and as you can see where it's shiny, that's where I'm going to place a different shade. But now I'm going in with Galactic, and I'm just going to deepen that Heat It Up just so that it looks more 3D-ish.
and then we'll move on to be doing our eyes. Now, as you can see, I've already filled out some of my eyes, but I am filling out my eyes with, I think, Sith Lord from the Star Wars collaboration MUA did, or is it Revolution Beauty lipsticks. Yeah, I chose to use lipsticks and not an eyeliner or anything just because, well, why not? Anyway, going on to doing my fangs, I'm just using that same black pencil to fill in my fangs before we move on. Yes, this is the part where everything is getting sketchy and you cannot see what I am doing. Anyway, moving back, I've decided I wanted to, you know, put more red into this look. So on the opposite side of what I did before, I'm doing this again. Using the shade Cream, I'm going in with an angled brush and I'm just going around those eyes that I've created just to create some sort of lip, and then I'm going to go in around those red parts of my face just to brighten them up a little bit, just to bring them forward. And then, you know, that middle part in my forehead that I left out, I'm going to go in and do that also, just to make sure that there is more dimension on this look than there would have been if I didn't do this. Does that even make any sense? Yeah, it does. So using a very thin detailing brush, I'm going in with a dark concealer and I'm just going to create some lines to create some hair-like strokes in between those red grooves that I've created on my face. And as you can see, you just saw it there, going in with a white foundation. I've used this foundation before, it's a mixer actually. I'm just going to go around the cream just to brighten them up a little bit, and then I'm going to darken those eyepieces with some of that galactic. Going in with the galactic, I am now creating some lines on my face or my temples, and then I am going to go back in with the same concealer that I've used on my forehead to create some spiky lines, just to create, you know, that hair-like stroke on your face, because spiders are actually hairy, they're not scaly. But anyway, as you can see, I'm using galactic now once again to kind of carve out the first two eyes where my eyebrows meet, and then I'm going to go around each eye very so lightly. I'm going into doing my fangs. I'm using the shades Stun, and I'm also using the shade Cream just to create a reddening and defined look for these fangs that I've got on my face. Now, I'm thankful that you can actually see in this part of the video, but yeah, going through the editing process, this is all I could find. Anyway, going in with that white foundation, I am now going to create some, but I don't want them to be as stark as the glistening in my eyes, so I am going to blend them out with a brush, like I said. And then I'm going to go in with a black felt tip liner, and I'm going to go round those edges of the fangs, so the little bumpy bits that, you know, protrude out of the face. Darken those up. I am going to do my eyebrows off camera and also my mascara, but right now, as you can see, I am doing my face split. I don't know what that is called on the anatomy of the spider, but yeah, I'm doing it anyway. And then I'm going to go on to blending out some of those edges just a little bit with some of that galactic. And just before we end the video, I am going to create like golden webbing underneath my right eye, and then I will go to do some on the left side of my face, which is my chin. Yes, and yeah, this is the look. Hope you enjoyed.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope you like this look. This was the 24th day, and I will see you in the new year, maybe. Or do I have another look? So guys, as you have seen, I've been using the Jolie Beauty eyeshadow palette Vivacious, and I am an affiliate, so if you want some discounts on your orders, go and check out the website. I will put that in the link description below, and also I will put it here. But use my code. It is ROGUS55. That's ROGUS55, and you will get a discount, and I will also get a little sum out of that. This is not a sponsored video. I'm just an affiliate with the company right now. Anyway guys, ciao for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Rogue Marby Scott.